Welcome back. This is Today on eNCA. We continue our conversation dissecting and unpacking issues around the safety of children, particularly where children play and recreational facilities. Of course, the conversation triggered by the tragic situation around Khayalethu Magadla in Dlamini in Soweto. It's 7 days now that the 6-year-old boy went missing after he fell into a sinkhole, a manhole rather. And our reporters Slindelo Masikane, Puleli Chwiti Jones and Lindoguhle Xulu tracking that story for us. But before I return back to them, let me speak to the MMC for Public Safety in the city of Johannesburg, David Tembe. Good afternoon, MMC. I've got to thank you for your time on the Sunday afternoon. Just from your perspective as a city, just tell me what issues this incident has brought to the fore around the safety of children. Something tells me your commitment, your team's commitment to finding, even if it's the remains of this boy, that it says something about a message that you're trying to communicate about this incident.
Yes, thanks, Thulas. The issue, I think, as the city, we must go on a campaign, because what worries me, where the child has slipped into the manhole, it's a park, and that park, and it appears that those who are doing vandalism of the infrastructure have removed the big stone that the community has put in to cover that manhole. But it is a park, and that's where the children are playing. It makes us being concerned that we need to do something about it.
So again, then, MMC, I suppose this brings to the fore this whole element of vandalism of critical and key infrastructure in our country, a situation that many of us observe has been left unchecked for far too long, with the result, as you say, that the community had, I suppose, out of desperation, decided to put a big rock to try and cover that manhole, but even that was then removed.
Yes, it was removed by these people who are doing vandalism. Apparently, where this water passes, they put the net so that they can get the rings or watches or whatever it is. But for me, it's unacceptable. And I think we should have done something more better, because the communities are claiming that they did report to Joburg Water or to the authority. And then that's what they are saying, but we're going to check on it.
So you're saying you should have done better. Why didn't you?
Yes, what I'm saying is it's not the first time that me as a person, I was a director of operation in 2004 of EMS. It happened before during Karabo Gwala in Tembe, and we had the same thing. And this is another thing that is happening again. We need to come up with a plan as the city to ensure that our children are safe, they can able to play anywhere they want.
But if it happened during that time of Karabo Gwala, as you say, in 2004, and it's happening again, and we're still talking about finding and coming up with a plan, MMC, as much as the people who removed the manhole cover and removed the stone that the community had put in place are responsible, it raises big questions to say, how long does it take to come up with a plan?
Yes, I wouldn't comment on that, because it's another department that is doing that.
Sure.
But on our part as public safety, we are going to do our campaigns and ensure that the children are safe. And I believe that Johannesburg Water is busy coming up with a plan whereby they will be able to, the use of technologies to ensure that whenever a person tamper with this infrastructure, will get an alert so that we respond immediately. We are busy with that.
Right. And as MMC for Public Safety, what is your assessment of the safety needs in communities, particularly townships informal settlements, communities where, you know, infrastructure for children to play, parks and the likes, are not as set up as they are in suburbia in Johannesburg. What is your assessment of the risks that children are exposed thereto, you know, on a daily basis as they play? Because part of the conversation I'm having in my head, for example, MMC, is I know that infrastructure has to be laid across the city. I accept that pipeline infrastructure, but, you know, the idea that it runs in a place that is also a park, you know, I suppose at the time no one could have foreseen that we'd reach a stage where vandalism becomes so rampant that, you know, people just remove it without a care in the world. But just overall, are you doing some kind of assessment that says how safe are open spaces, corners where children play in informal settlements and townships and other communities like that, lighting, because sometimes children play, you know, until just after dusk. Those kind of issues, do they preoccupy you, and what exactly are you doing about it?
Yes. When I was deployed as an MMC for public safety, first thing that I did, I went out to do what you call it meet and greet. Fortunately, I was at Dorothy Nyembe. Remember, we had Jaftali Khetlo, who started all these parks. So he was there, and then I spoke to him. The issue is there's no lighting. One. Two, the issue of grass that is tall, that is high, so that you find that criminals have the space to be in those areas. So tomorrow, I think tomorrow is Sunday, Monday, tomorrow I'm going there with the MMC of parks, Mr. Harris, so that we can look at what we can come up with together with the MMC of parks, myself, the MMC of public safety, and of course I'll involve even the SAPS so that we can, and the community, to ensure that we deal with these issues.
I guess MMC, where I'm kind of, to be quite frank, a bit disappointed in this conversation, is that I'm not getting a sense of a systemic intervention. What you are talking about going there tomorrow seems to me to be piecemeal, to say, you know, grass overgrown, lighting, issues to do with the manhole covers being removed in a particular corner of Johannesburg. What I was hoping for from you is something that says, in as much as you have Operation Buyamteto, for example, which is broader than just, you know, a crime occurred in El Dorado Park, let's go there. It's about how do we squeeze the space for criminals? That's the plan I'm not hearing from you, MMC, that says, how do we make the spaces where children play safe through securing the infrastructure that we have that runs through those facilities, closing off manholes and keeping track of manhole covers that have been removed, cutting off grass, putting off lights, and demolishing whatever wall that could be used to abuse, you know, to hide behind and have people abusing children. That's what I was hoping for from you.
Yes, there are issues as police that we do that we don't normally talk about. The executive mayor, Dr. Mpopalazi, organized a meeting with the Minister of Police and all the generals from national commissioner, provincial commissioner, and other generals, whereby we had a meeting where, when we said we want to deal with these issues, we have established a unit that will deal with infrastructure vandalism. This is part of the plan that has been done, not only in Johannesburg, but from national Minister of Police. So we are not just sitting. We have a plan, and we are going to deal with it. And it will be something different how we're going to deal with it. The officers that will be doing all this job won't go and do any other job except dealing with the issue of vandalism. But of course, we have to the use of technology, which is more important, so that we'll be responding if ever a person is removing these these covers on the manholes. Yes.
All right, MMC David Tembe, I've got to thank you for your time and your indulgence here on eNCA on these issues that I was raising. He is the Public Safety MMC in the city of Johannesburg. Let me take you back to